Today's show and the following message are brought to you by Turning Leaf Capital, a cannabis investment firm that provides both small and large investors the opportunity to take part in the cannabis bull market with their unique asset-specific investment vehicle. Listen to MJBulls episode 10 or go to turningleafcapital.com to learn more.
Yeah, we're really excited. I mean, we've started back in 2016 is when we broke ground on the code, and we spent a lot of time making sure that the system could be modular. Spent a lot of time paying attention to the details and the nuances. So it's been a great ride, but in particular, the last 10 months, we've seen some really good growth.
From Bummin' It Media, it's the MJBulls podcast, a show about raising cannabis capital. I'm Dan Humiston, and on today's show, how Chris Violas evolved his cannabis delivery service business into Blaze, a full-service suite of cannabis management software. Today we're joined by Chris Violas, the founder and CEO of Blaze, a cannabis software company from Long Beach, California. Chris, thanks for being on the MJBulls podcast.
Absolutely, Dan. Thank you for having me. It's been exciting to see you guys get some traction and really excited to be a guest on your show today.
I'm glad to have you. This is going to be fun. You've been in the industry for a while. I was reading your bio and you had a really successful cannabis delivery business that you sold. Was it during this time when you were running the cannabis delivery business that you saw the need for a software at dispensaries?
Absolutely. To your point, I've been in the cannabis game in California for a little bit now. Since 2012 is when we launched our delivery service. That's exactly where I saw. I was actually the one implementing these softwares, and I used 2 to 3 of them during my 3 years running the delivery service. And while a lot of them had really good function and features, a lot of them lacked the flow. A lot of them lacked the nuances that happens in particular at the delivery field. When you start to look at the storefront aspect of retail, it's a little bit easier. Everything's in one place. There's video cameras. When we start talking about delivery, it gets really challenging, right? Given there are many different ways to run a delivery. So that's where we saw a need, not just at retail, but all the way down the supply chain.
Can you just walk us through a transaction using Blaze at a dispensary?
Yeah, absolutely. So this would be a storefront dispensary, let's say in Los Angeles, California. You would walk in, you would be greeted ideally by front desk personnel. They would ask you for some sort of identification. Could be a passport, driver's license, state issued ID. If you're going to go in as an adult use user, they would scan your ID using the Blaze iPad app. We would pull that information in seamlessly in about 1 second. Membership agreements, they could be signed. And at that point, they would be entered into the system and let into the back room, essentially to go place an order. At that point, once you're in the back room, you work with that bud tender, tell them what you're looking for. They will advise you. And ideally, you'll have a product, check it out just as you would at the store. All about the consumer's experience.
And right now I see you're operating in 70 dispensaries in 4 states.
Yeah, we're really excited. I mean, we've started back in 2016 is when we broke ground on the code, and we spent a lot of time making sure that the system could be modular. Spent a lot of time paying attention to the details and the nuances. So it's been a great ride, but in particular, the last 10 months, we've seen some really good growth. To give you an example, we were in 20 dispensaries in December. So we've been growing very quickly.
Dispensary POS, that's a really crowded space right now. There are a lot of competitors in that space. Why have you been so successful?
Great question, Dan. We get this quite a bit, actually. I think it's our focus, not just on that POS component. We're really focused on providing a dispensary management tool. And a lot of other things come into the picture when you start to look at it from that angle. No single solution is going to be the one-stop shop for your dispensary or for your retail operation. We understand that. Being a dispensary operator myself, I understand that more than most. We have 16 technology partnerships that are live with many more on the way. These are anything from payment processing integrations to Weedmaps integrations to Green Rush. We're really excited about that, and we're going to continue to invest there. Definitely a reason for our success so far. We're very open with our APIs. We like to partner with people, and we're going to continue to do that, not just in retail, but across our other products. Going back to your question, we're one of the few point-of-sale dispensary management systems that can dive into the delivery and have a very robust response to that, all the way from dispatch and making sure that flow is seamless end-to-end when someone calls in, down to tracking your drivers, understanding the mileage per transaction behind the scenes. And that's on top of the normal point-of-sale.
Just a quick shout out to one of our former guests, Cannabis Pharmaceuticals, which is a publicly traded cannabis biotechnology company trading under the symbol CNBX. Listen to MJBulls episode 18 to learn about the developments in their cannabinoid-based cancer treatment therapy. And now back to the show. Okay, so the first product, you call it Blaze Retail, right?
What we call the dispensary management product, because it's really not just point of sale. We're doing a lot in there.
Now you have that one. You have Blaze Distribution, and now you're not stopping. You're coming out with Blaze Extract for manufacturers and Blaze Grow for cultivation. And then I see on your website that you also sell all the hardware. I don't know even what they're called anymore, but I'm going to call them cash registers, scanners, safe. If a dispensary is opening up, they just go to you and you have all this right available for it. That's great.
Yeah, it is. The goal is to get dispensaries up and running as quickly as possible. The reason why you see so many offerings in terms of the hardware integrations on our site is because while we onboard quite a bit of new dispensaries, the majority of our new customers are actually migrations. And so the goal is to reduce the cost to switch. And so if we can say, hey, go ahead, keep your existing hardware, we can run with it, makes that conversation a lot easier.
Yeah, it makes the conversion for those guys much easier to swallow as well. But you have essentially 4 software products, which requires a team of developers, a team of engineers, not to mention you're going to need a huge sales force to get this thing out there, customer support, staff. What's the plan to fund this expansion?
So we've been very fortunate. Father and I have been able to fund this self the last couple of years. We can continue to do that. We're really looking for the right investor. So we've been very patient. We're looking at someone that can come in and provide immediate value for us.
So you're looking for somebody that's willing to roll up their sleeves and work right along with you to help you with the growth of the company. You take care of the software side. They take care of helping you through the next funding rounds.
Yes. No, you're absolutely right, Dan. That's who we are looking for. Someone that's going to be able to come in, has potential past experience, right? We're really looking for some ex-entrepreneurs or serial entrepreneurs.
We've been speaking with Chris Violas, the founder and CEO of Blaze, and all of Blaze's information will be on the MJBulls website, MJBulls.com. Chris, if that person that's listening right now says, you know what, I'm that guy, I want to work with these guys, how does he get a hold of you?
Reach out to me. I hope I don't regret this. Go ahead and email me. It's just Chris, CHRIS @blaze.me, and I'll get back to you.
I hope you do regret it. I hope you get so many. You're like, Dan, thanks so much. Oh, this is good.
I hope so.
This is good, Chris. I know this is something that's really needed, and it sounds to me like you guys are ahead of the curve on this one. So this is really exciting. Thanks for being on the show with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Dan.
Well, good luck with this. Just a quick shout out to one of our former guests, Vivid Grow, a cannabis lighting and technology company which is expanding its brand through organic growth and strategic acquisitions. Listen to MJBulls episode 15 or go to vividgrow.com to learn more. Thanks for listening to the MJBulls podcast. To learn more about today's guest or to become a guest, visit our website at mjbulls.com. Today's show was produced by Bumminit Media with original music composed by Jamie Humiston. I'm Dan Humiston, and you've been listening to the MJBulls podcast.